Hey, welcome to the Yes Lady with CharlaA, your encouragement solutions for outrageous business. I can't wait to introduce you. I'm so excited to have my friend and mentor, Michelle Prince.
Hey, Charla, I'm excited to be here.
It's time to say yes to your future. Each week, CharlaA interviews business owners that are breaking the mold. Tune in each Thursday to discover how you can too. Here's your host, the Yes Lady herself, CharlaA.
I really am excited to see you again. You know, you were one of my very first people that I met in the networking world when I came out of the flight attendant world, and I was so enamored.
Long time ago.
And I think it was 2008 or 7.
It was 2008.
And you had just published your books, and you were doing all these things. And I was so, in my little book, I say, I want to be like Michelle when I grow up. So.
And I love that it's like, no, you're you, and I want to be you too. You have so many great qualities. So you'll get there.
But anyway, Michelle has an amazing story, and her story is also about us getting our stories out. And you've got Bookbound by the Sea, you've got Bookbound workshops, and you started with Ziglar.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit where you came from and and how that all is manifesting now in your career.
Well, it's a crazy long story, and I won't go through all of the details, but I met Zig when I was 18, and he just transformed me at a very young age, where I knew some way, somehow, I wanted to do what he was doing. I wanted to motivate, inspire, encourage. I'm 18, I don't know how to do that, so but I graduated from college, and I got a job with Ziglar, the Ziglar Corporation, and I was in sales, and so that was kind of my first really launch into the corporate world, and it was the most amazing experience because whether we were selling a book or a tape back then, or training or Zig, we were making a difference, and I loved it. But fast forward, I ended up quitting Ziglar, not because I didn't love it. It was truly my passion, but I wanted to climb a corporate ladder. I wanted to make more money. I was in my young 20s. And so I spent the next 14 years in software sales, the real corporate America. And it's a lot different than working at Ziglar. But great experience. But I always kept that. I just wanted to make a difference. And I knew I was making a difference for companies, but I wanted to make a difference in a more personal way. And so, but I always stayed in touch with Ziglar. I always stayed in touch with, it's a family.
Well,
you know
it is
this
a family.
now. Not as many people knew that back then, but it's always been a family. They're so good to me, and I love them all so much. So we stayed in touch, and it was in 2008 I decided I was ready to follow my passion, which is to help other people find theirs. And so I wrote a book. Now, the book I wrote, I never intended for anyone to read because it was just something I wanted to do for myself. And I was so blessed. Zig wrote the foreword. And it was truly an amazing opportunity, but I didn't do anything with it at first. And then somebody said to me, they're like, Michelle, you talk a lot about wanting to make a difference, but if you don't share your story, you can't help anyone. And it just kind of hit me that, you know what, you're right. Writing a book is not about ourselves. It's not at all. I mean, it feels that way when you're doing it because you're kind of putting yourself out there, but it's really about the people that you're going to impact. And as soon as I got a hold of that, it reframed everything for me. And that's when I launched my business. And that's not long after I met you.
So you changed directions. When we met, you had just launched that book, which is called your
first book was Winning in Life Now, How to Break Through to a Happier You.
And I bought the book, I bought the CD set, I bought the whole thing, and I listened. I want to be like her when I grow up. But I was transitioning out of flight attendant and out of just not knowing anything what I wanted to do, but knowing I wanted to make a difference.
Yes,
and so
exactly.
That's our big connection.
We've always had that in common, absolutely.
And I don't know anybody that doesn't, but some of us really have that passion that everything we do is to make a difference.
Yes.
And every heart we touch and every soul we speak to is to make a difference. So your business right now, we want to help our business owners and the people listening to us to understand how can their story make a difference.
Well, and it's so important for business owners especially to hear this because, here I am, somebody who wrote a book, but I didn't have an intention to build a business. I really just wrote a book for myself and for my family. But what I found was when I shared my story, it created a business for me, truly a business, a full-time business of coaching and speaking and seminars and all that I get to do. But it didn't start out that way. So I tell business owners that your story is the connection why people want to do business with you. When somebody knows the real story, when somebody knows the backstory, what drives you, what motivates you, why did you even go into business in the first place? Especially family businesses, because, why did you want to do a business with your family? How many generations has this been going on? I mean, that matters to people, and it connects people. My friend Bob Berg says, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And the best and easiest way for your clients to know, like, and trust you is to know your story.
Authenticity
Yes.
is the new, nobody wants anybody that's not real anymore.
Right.
We want real, and we want to know. I think most of us these days are transitioning out of this. We got to have this. This is the way we are at work, and this is the way we are at church, and this is the way we are at home, and then this is the way, no.
That's an inner conflict that it has to get worked out at some point.
If you can't be who you be, wherever you be, then people start sensing that.
Yes.
And so your business for your books and your your CDs and all that, and your workshops, which are, I loved going to the book bound workshop, and I usually have my little book sitting here so I can hold it up, and I don't, because I went to one last year.
I know, just last June.
And then by the end of the year, I have my own little book.
Yeah.
Candy bar hugs. Maybe I'll have it.
It's a great book,
maybe
too.
I'll have it after the break.
Yes.
Just a business. What you call a business
card book. That's all
but
it is.
Everybody can have a business card book.
Well, and that's to the point of business owners, why it's important. Now, there's two reasons to write a book. One, obviously, is to share your story, because that's how you make a difference. But if you look at your book as a business card, it's a marketing tool. The reality is no one will throw away a book. They'll throw away your business card, but they won't throw away a book. For some reason, we just, we place so much value in books. So I've found that when you take your story, you take what you're already putting on your website, you take what you're putting in your sales presentations or your proposals, and you build that into a book that somebody can tangibly hold and keep. It changes. And then it also changes the perception people have of you when you're an author. I tell the story that I'm the exact same person today that I was the day before I wrote my book. But for whatever reason, being a published author changed a lot of things for me. So there's power in your story.
It's a credibility factor.
It is a credibility
truly.
factor.
And I know that when I got my first little radio show, and I was and all of a sudden, she's the one with the radio show, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but and same thing with a TV show. I don't even know what I'm doing.
But when you put yourself out there, people take notice, and they think, wow, she must have something, or he may have something if he's willing to put it in a book. And the truth is, if you really want to make a difference, if you want to help more people, if you want to build your business, just put it in a book. Tell your story.
And then as you move forward, if you have a brick and mortar, you can have it right there on the counter and go, here's my story.
Yes.
You want me to sign it for you?
Yes.
That's kind of fun,
It is.
And or if you want to speak and you have the back of the room, and I love just gifting them. I just feel like.
I know.
Can I tell a story about my book that happened yesterday?
Yes, let's hear it.
I was ranch sitting, and I was coming back from the hill country from my sisters, and I had locked my keys in the car. It's been one of those days, and I was just getting on the road and getting in the country roads, and I got
pulled over.
The sirens behind me, and I'm like, okay. And this is what I say. Yeah. I say, I want you to know, I just thank you, because I know that we're here to bless each other, or, preventing something else or whatever's going on. So I just want you to know that. And I said, I'm trying to get back, because I've got my 3 TV shows to record tomorrow. And what's your TVs? Anyway, I said, would you like my book? And I was able to hand Dalton my book.
And I bet you got a smile and
a warning instead of a ticket. But
so if you don't want to get a ticket, you need to have a book, so that you can.
But truly, I feel like because my book is such a small book, but it's a big message.
It's a big message.
About making a difference.
Yes.
The candy bar hugs, it doesn't take much to make a difference.
Yeah.
And so you inspired me for that. And remember last year at your workshop, I had this heavy book in my hand, in my head, and I couldn't do it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I woke up that morning.
You had a
I was
block.
like,
I do remember that.
yeah, because it was like, I felt like I was
Too much.
strangling, and this came to me in the night, and I'm like, candy bar hugs. Because I buy candy bars for hug and then hug people at the grocery store. So
And how simple it is, and so you're inspiring people that they could do the same thing. Doesn't take much, but
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was that. Anyway, I think that was kind of a fun story about having a book with you,
Yes.
right? and so that anyway. So we'll go back into your purpose here is to. When we talk about the stories that we're telling, and someone has something in their book and they're sharing that, and there's a credibility factor, all of those things are adding up. They're added value to who you really are. So it gives you a specialness about you.
Yes.
And I don't mean that it makes you better
no.
at all,
Right.
but I want you to tell the business owners why they want to do that. Those are tangible things, and you can actually make some money with a book, and a lot of people don't. A lot of it's not for money, but it's for so.
A couple things come out of that. So you definitely, for people that are looking to get more opportunities, I mean, there are business owners that are doing really, really, really well. And so maybe they've already cornered the market, but they're looking for bigger opportunities. Maybe they want to consult or speak or do things like that. A book is a great, easy way to do that. Other people may have a lot of competition, and this I see a lot. We do books for dentists and doctors and all that all the time because they have so much competition. So how do you differentiate from a competitor right down the street?
Exactly.
Well, again, we put so much value in books, and we think that it takes a lot more work than it does to publish a book. So when we know that we're working with a dentist or a business owner or doing anything that is a published author, immediately, and it's all subconscious, but we think, well, they must be the expert. I want to work with the expert. We always want to work with the best, don't we? So it's just an easy way to differentiate from competition. And your story doesn't have to be, a lot of business owners say, I don't want to tell my story. I don't want to tell my personal story. You don't have to get into all the specifics. However, if you have overcome anything, if you had challenges to get to where you are today, as a business owner, maybe you struggled along the way. Maybe there's something in your journey that you've learned that you could share with another business owner or possibly a customer. Your story is really, it's a combination of your passion and your experience. It's really the intersection. What do you love? What do you love to do? Chances are, hopefully, you're in a business that you love, but where are your experiences? And experience doesn't have to be work. It could be personal, but when you intersect those two, that's when you have a story that you can be authentic about, that you want to talk about, that you want to share, like your candy bar hugs. You're passionate about helping people, but you've got the experience to back it up because you do it. And so that's what makes for a really good book, to help people.
You said something I want to come back to in just a moment, but we're going to take a really quick break, and we'll be right back with the Yes Lady with CharlaA with Michelle Prince.
The American business economy is positioned as it has never been before. Professional videography is a core element for attracting a higher level of engagement with the people group you need for significant impact. Now is your time to shine. My name is Bill Brock, owner of White Rock Films, and I invite you to a powerful opportunity in the marketplace, an opportunity to draw excited people to your events, an opportunity to showcase your ideas on infrastructure, an opportunity to become known as the industry authority and enjoy the associated benefits of a strong, influential brand. Video highlights, video teaches. Video puts a resistant market at ease, and video stirs the hearts and imaginations of your allies and strategic client base. White Rock Films offers full audio, video production for businesses ready to embrace the future, handling your project with professionalism, experience, and polish unheard of in the industry. My name is Bill Brock, and White Rock Films wants your business. See us online at whiterockfilms.com.
Experience the Zeal difference. It's my favorite beverage.
I never thought nutrition could taste so good.
I know it's why I feel the best I've ever felt.
Wouldn't start my day without this beverage.
Every once in a while, a product comes along that's so innovative, it has the ability to shake up how we feel about nutrition. You're about to be introduced to a one-of-a-kind nutritional powerhouse. It's scientifically formulated and backed by a landmark clinical trial. This wellness product has created a movement that has already generated over $300 million in sales. It continues to change lives, create a thirst in people to be healthier, and is inspiring generations in ways other beverages simply do not. It's called Zeal, and thousands of people worldwide, just like you, appreciate that it takes the guesswork out of nutrition and why it's loved by so many. If you don't experience the Zeal difference in 30 days, we'll refund your money. Join us in this movement and experience the Zeal difference.
Okay, we're right back here with the Yes Lady, with CharlaA, Michelle Prince, and thank you again. I'm so happy to be discussing this because I think it's a critical or exciting thing for people to do. And you said it wasn't that hard to write a book.
No.
But I know the one thing I wanted to bring back up, you said you might have had some issues along the way, or you maybe, no, we all did.
Yep.
So that every person has that story and their backstory. And what if? What if your story is something you've been ashamed of? What if your story is something that you've tried to hide?
Yes.
What do you say to that?
Well, we've had a lot of experiences with that. In fact, a business owner on the East Coast that we did a book for is in the service industry, in-home services, and a manly kind of business too, to where he had gone through something really pretty heavy. And, but he wanted to share his story. He was at the point where he wanted to talk about it, and there was a lifetime of abuse. And so he put it in this book, but he used the book as his business card book. And after he did it and we published it, and, of course, if that's what you want to put in the book, we're going to do it. And then, of course, we published it, and then he's like, oh, did I do the right thing? Because do I really want people to know my full story? I got a call a couple months later, and he was in tears because he's like, I cannot tell you how much this has impacted. Not just now, it's a relief for me. I got a lot of things off my chest, but people see me different now. And he said, it's actually bringing in business because people know they're getting to know the real me. So he was so excited because he didn't know what to expect, obviously, for people to really understand what he went through as a child. And then, but the reaction was more inspiration. People were inspired by it, because we have all been through something. And if somebody can read that and know that, wow, it's okay if you've been through something like that. Look at how successful he is. Now he runs his own business. He overcame it. And that's one of the things I learned from Zig Ziglar is it's never about you. It's never about you. Your story, when you're speaking, whether you're writing, it's never about you. It's what you can share with somebody else. But what you're giving them is hope. It's one of the things that Zig always would talk about when, how he was raised very, very poor. He had a lot of problems. He lost his dad at an early age. He always talked about all the things that were not so great. But he did that because it allowed people to connect, that authenticity, like, wow, look at him now. If he could go through that, surely I can get through what I'm getting through. So it's hope. You're giving people hope.
And anybody that's watching social media, I'm really inspired by a lot of the people. Everybody is an overcomer. I mean, if they really go back and tell their stories, so many have been overcomers. So I think it's so important that we get on the same path. Now, my story in my little book is not my whole story, right?
Right.
There's more than one book in most of us.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
There's a lot of stories in all of us.
Definitely.
And so I know I'm working on another small one for sure. It's I don't know how people can edit these big long things. Oh my goodness. That's why we have experts like Michelle Prince here with and you have a lot of different services in your book-bound workshops and Book-Bound by the Sea, which is coming up in January.
Yes.
So tell a little bit about how people can actually get to know who you are, maybe and engage you as a coach or for writing their own book.
So I'm passionate about helping people find their story because, like I said, I didn't know the power of my book until I actually wrote it, and how it really built a business for me. So Bookbound is really designed to teach people how to do what I did. And that is whether you want to self-publish, whether you want to publish with a traditional publisher, there's a lot you need to know. So we focus on finding your story first and foremost. What is it that you're passionate about? Where are your experiences? What can you share with someone else that can make a difference personally or professionally? And then getting it out of your head and on paper. That's the big thing of Bookbound. And then we take you through the rest of it, which is, okay, well, what is the publishing process? It's just a recipe, but you need to know what it is, and you need to know in what order. So we share that. We share how to market a book. How do you build an author platform? Nobody is looking for your book, and especially if you're a business owner and you're looking to use it as your business card, you need to know how to market it, build it out, how to get people to benefit from your book. So that's all of what Bookbound is about. But I'm a beach girl. So once a year,
Me too.
I know.
Maybe I need to come to the beach. Bookbound by the Sea. People
Bookbound
come
by the
repeat
Sea.
it.
Yes,
every year.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not that we're still we're inside, but it just creates a little bit more downtime to really be creative and really figure out what is your story, and then get it out on paper.
And then they can find anything about Michelle Prince on michelleprince.com, right?
michelleprince.com.
And that's your major thing. And you have a Facebook, you've just got a big presence out there. And you've been on the stage with more than just Zig Ziglar. You've been on the stage with a lot of high-level people. And so, did you see yourself as a speaker before all this? I mean, the book kind of launched you into that, right? And then you've gotten to meet so many amazing.
Very, very blessed. It's funny because at 18 when I met Zig and I wanted to work for him, it wasn't to be in sales for him. I wanted to be a speaker.
You wanted to be a speaker.
At 18. And so when I went to work.
That's backwards for most of us,
I know.
right?
Well, and it wasn't even about being a speaker. I just wanted to do what he was doing because he was making a difference, and I loved it. So when I actually ended up working there, I was 22 years old and no experience. So I went into sales, but in my soul, my dream was to really get out there and speak. But then, I was led in a different direction by going into software. So when I came back, the passion of that motivate, inspire, encourage always stuck with me. Not necessarily speaking or writing. I didn't know I had that in me, other than a dream when I was young. But I'm just a big believer that when you align, your passions, or you align what you're here to do, I personally believe we're all here for a reason. And when you find that's when things start to happen, and that's when doors of opportunity just seem to open up. And that's what happened for me. I am extremely, I sometimes think, gosh, I get to do this every day, And so, but we all do. We all have something that we're passionate about like that. And it's just when you put yourself out there, though, that's when you're
taking the bold face
You have to be bold. And it's not
steps.
about you. It's about the other person. And when you do that, you will find that more and more people will be attracted to you, and you'll be an influencer.
And everything that you've just said, and especially when we know that it's not about us.
Not about us.
No matter what somebody says or does to us, it's so very rarely about us.
Yeah.
This time goes so incredibly, incredibly fast, and we really have one last second here to get all the information honed into one. So michelleprince.com.
Yes, or bookboundbythesea.com.
Bookboundbythesea.com, and that's going to give you some information about playing on the beach with some of the most incredible people. You really attract a lot of amazing people.
It's always amazing who shows up, and it's always wonderful. I love it.
And then you also have online book workshops if you can't go to Florida for the beach. You also have other resources. So please take a look at michelleprince.com. And let's do this again sometime. This has been a great pleasure having you, seeing you again.
And I just have to end by saying how incredibly excited I am for you. You are shining, your light,
That's my prayer every day, let my light shine.
Yep.
So if I can just let my light shine here with the Yes Lady, with CharlaA, we'll see you next week. Hi, I'm the Yes Lady with CharlaA, powered by Zeal Wellness. Zeal is my nutrition beverage of choice. It is 14,000 milligrams of superfood nutrition in a powdered formula that you can just shake it and take it out the door, grab and go, have energy, vitality, reduce your stress, some incredible health benefits. It's incredibly cost effective, and it is going to change your life. I'd love for you to join me. Go to charla.zealforlife.com, charla.zealforlife.com. Join me in being healthy, focused, full of energy, tastes great. Zeal for Life.
That's all for the Yes Lady with CharlaA today. The Yes Lady with CharlaA is produced by the OBBM Network and available on demand at offbeatbusinessmedia.com. The Yes Lady also airs each Thursday at 12 and 8 p.m. on OBBM Radio, available on iTunes and offbeatbusinessmedia.com. Download the Offbeat Business app to get the Yes Lady TV and podcast on demand. To be a guest on the Yes Lady, call 817-808-7703.